Alright, we are back out in the shop. It's time to get to work. Today we are working on Project Disruptor, the YZ300 build. I have a ton of bolts that I need to zinc plate so I can then chem dip them black, and I've employed the help of my wife. Actually, I suckered her into working for me today. She's going to be doing a bunch of media blasting. What an idiot. Oh, hey, we were just talking about you. Jokes aside, I'm stoked to have her help me out. She's actually really good at media blasting, so it's pretty cool to see her out here in the shop. And again, due to the whole quarantine, she's got nothing better to do, let's be honest. So she works for me now. So I got this cute chick working out here in the shop with me. She's gonna do some organizing for the 300 build, receipts and what have you. And then what are you gonna do?
File for unemployment.
No, you work for me now.
Nah, bro. You don't pay very well.
I don't pay in dollar bills, if you know what I mean.
Like I said, you don't pay very well.
So she's also not yet accustomed to being on film. She absolutely hates it, and I understand how she feels. We have a couple other little helpers too. That's Skittle. Skittle, what are you doing? You're so small. She's definitely more of a rat than a dog, but she's all right. And then that's Zoe. She is the shop beast. Shop beast, shop beast, shop beast. Let's get cracking. So as seen in previous videos, we have quite the good looking color palette going on here. I'm pretty proud of all this, but we have so much work left to do. I have to clean up all of these important nuts and washers. These are for the engine mount bolts or linkage, and they're trashed. Not something that is included in this particular Pro Pack. And if you were to buy these separately, the cost adds up rather rapidly. So things like that, brake pin and brake pedal bolt, I'll probably just replace them. It'll be easier because these are actually pretty gouged up, have some grooves, and so I'll save time where I can by buying new parts. But for the most part, I need to get all of those nuts and washers looking like these prepped bolts. These were prepped with Prime MX pads. You'll see those in a minute. And once they're cleaned and degreased like this, I can go ahead and use the Caswell Plate Kit. With this kit, I will be able to transfer zinc from these plates left and right to the raw steel bolt, and then I'll be able to chemically blacken it. So that's our project today, and that all starts with media blasting, which is what the wife will be doing. Hey! Get back to work. So we will be using the old blast cabinet back there. We're using a medium glass bead to clean up some of the aluminum. And we got to get down into the nitty-gritty, like things like these washers, for example. These are the 6 grommets and washers that keep the radiators dampened when they're bolted to the frame. These need to be black, so we're going to use my wife's little sweatshop fingers in that blast cabinet, get them all nice and clean, dip them black, and keep it moving. Alright, boys and girls, we are about to clean up this nut and bolt setup for the linkage, but before we start, it's really important that you have at least safety glasses. Goggles would actually be better because of the particulate matter that goes into the air when you're cleaning parts. And absolutely, at least, this is an absolute must to keep that stuff out of your lungs. So let's get started. If you guys can't find these because of the old coronavirus, $100 a pop, I got you. So now that you have your bolt all nice and cleaned up from the coarse pad, you're going to want to move on to the next stage, which is a less coarse pad or a more fine pad. And the reason you want to do this is the better you can get the finish before you do the zinc plating process and then also the black chromate process, the better the part's going to come out. And if we can get this really clean, the black chromate's actually going to look like DLC. right, so now we have a very, very clean, very good looking set of hardware. We have the bolt, the washer, and the nut for the linkage on the bike. We got to throw this in the acetone, and after that we can go ahead and zinc dip. Into the acetone they go. Try not to make too big a splash with this stuff. It is not good for your skin. It is not good to breathe. So now that you have your super good looking, cleaned up, gorgeous bolt, the next phase in this process is to bust out your Caswell Plate Kit. This is basically a DC rectifier, a 2-gallon bucket, a few zinc plates, a little water circulating fish tank apparatus down in there, and then a copper wire which we will be hanging our bolt from. So once you picked out which bolt you want to plate, you need to head over to the Caswell website. You'll be able to punch in a few parameters of the fastener, and then you'll be on your way as far as how many amps you need to dial into the rectifier. So after entering all my measurements into this Caswell surface area calculator, I went ahead and ended up with 4.9. I need to multiply this by 0.14, and that's amps per square inch. And so now you can see that I need 0.686 amps on the DC rectifier in order to properly zinc plate just this one bolt. Time to fire this thing up. We're going to get the little fish tank pump moving the goo around in there. There she is. I'll probably give that an extra little shake just to make sure everything is unsettled and well stirred. We can go ahead and turn on the rectifier. Now we're going to take that 0.686 that we calculated using their Surface Calculator app and our cell phone calculator and roll the dial down to that value. To be perfectly honest, there are a few other steps I'm not doing, such as degreasing with their degreaser and using hot water in this tank, but I've still had really great results. At this stage, you'll need a piece of copper wire to wrap around your bolt. You're going to use the copper wire to hang your bolt off of the large copper wire in the center of the bucket. So each bolt takes about 8 to 10 minutes to plate. I'm going to go ahead and set the timer on my cell phone and take care of a few other little miscellaneous things around the shop. Now, can you just imagine doing every single bolt in a bike like this? All right, while we're waiting for that bolt to plate, let's go take a look at some of the work my awesome wife, who's actually not working at all over there or doing anything. Why aren't you working? Come on, please get to work. This would be fantastic. Come on, what are you waiting for? Do it now.
So annoying.
I know. That cute girl over there blasted this entire swing arm yesterday, got it ready and prepped. We went ahead and shot it with the gray coating we've been using. It's a swing arm out of an 09 Plus YZ450F. It's the hydroform type with the linkage bolt on the outside, so it should give this YZ a completely different look. I was way too excited to actually let this cure all the way before I threw in a black fastener, but there you have it. That is the theme of the entire bike right there. Got a nice dark DLC coat look on this awesome stainless steel gray. All right, that right there is what you call a great success. You can see that the bolt now almost looks like chrome. The next step in this process is to dip this bolt in the black chromate now that it has a nice thick layer of zinc on it. I'm gonna go ahead and link another video right here. You guys can watch the fully comprehensive start to finish version of this, but for now, let's get this thing dipped so you can see what happens. And that is how you get super trick, all black, DLC look hardware. Looking good. Think maybe you could blast something else later?
Yep.
About time I got some production out of that woman. Man, this plug and plate kit absolutely rips. These four here are all re-zinced. This one here is cleaning pads from Prime MX. And of course we have the black chromate here. It's so awesome to be able to do this yourself. Any of you guys can do this. So right now you guys are probably thinking, wow, that's a really tedious process. And I guarantee you it is, but you can speed things up a little bit by batch plating. And what I mean by that is these four bolts are very similar in dimensions. So when I got that value earlier of 0.686, I went ahead and multiplied it by 4, and I hung everything in the plating tank. So you can do a little more at once. Works out great, save you some time, and I hope you give that a shot. All right, that pretty much rounds out today's video. I hope you guys found it entertaining. I hope you guys learned something. I hope you're gonna give it a shot. Now you know how to take your ratty old bolt, prep it with Prime MX pads, re-zinc plate it with the Caswell plug and plate kit, and finally, black chromate. Always appreciate you guys watching. Please give this video a like, think about subscribing. Much more building to be done. We will see you next time. Say bye to everybody.